light moments. So, starting at verse 1 of Revelation 21. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride, beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away." He who was seated on the throne said, "I am making everything new." Then he said, "Write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true." He said to me, "It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I will give water without cost from the spring of water of life. Those who are victorious will inherit all this, and I will be their God, and they will be my children." So jumping on to verse 10. And he carried me away in the Spirit to a mountain great and high, and showed me the holy city, Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God. It shone with the glory of God, and its brilliance was like that of a very precious jewel, like a jasper, clear as crystal. It had a great high wall with 12 gates, and with 12 angels at the gates. On the gates were written the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. There were 3 gates on the east, 3 on the north, 3 on the south, and 3 on the west. The wall of the city had 12 foundations, and on them were the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And moving on to verse 18. The wall was made of jasper, and the city of pure gold, as pure as glass. The foundations of the city walls were decorated with every kind of precious stone. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third agate, the fourth emerald, the fifth onyx, the sixth ruby, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th turquoise, the 11th jacinth, and the 12th amethyst. The 12 gates were 12 pearls, each gate made of a single pearl. The great street of the city was of gold, as pure as transparent glass. I did not see a temple in the city, because the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb were its temple. The city does not need the sun or moon to shine on it, for the glory of God gives it light, and the Lamb is its lamp. The nations will walk by its light, and the kings of the earth will bring their splendor into it. On no day will its gates ever be shut, for there will be no night there. The glory and honor of the nations will be brought into it. Nothing impure will ever enter it, nor will anyone who does what is shameful or deceitful, but only those whose names are written in the Lamb's book of life.
Revelation 21, a tricky, confusing, and exciting passage, well known in some parts, but what can we find about it? What can it teach us for now? Paul and I were debating whether this is all about heaven and a point in the future when we met, and we agreed that yes, mostly it was. But that doesn't mean it's not relevant and life-changing for us today. There's one small word that appears here and in lots of other bits of the Bible, and it keeps jumping out at me. It's the word will. I keep finding it exciting that the writers like John here and David in the Psalms and many others who've experienced many, many difficulties in life and in their journey with God don't say maybe, but they say will. There will be a new heaven and a new earth, John says. It will happen. God will live with them. He will remove all of their sorrows and sickness and sadness. John's certainty can inspire us when ours is lacking. However, it's not just something fluffy, shiny, and nice, a pat on the head to say everything will be all right in the end. We interact with this truth. As it inspires us to live with hope in our day-to-day and support each other in difficult times and pray and come close to God when times are hard, when we see change in the here and now, it strengthens our belief for the future. If we say we can trust God and ask God for our daily bread, then we can say we can trust God about these amazing, shiny promises that we've thought about and drawn and painted. There's 4 promises I'm going to quickly remind us about. It says, to all who are thirsty, I will give the springs of the water of life without charge. This isn't a new phrase. Isaiah said it, and so did Jesus. He said it at the temple at the end of the feast, that all who are thirsty should come to him and drink. We've known in this heat wave about really being thirsty. I've been teaching in primary schools where children are constantly asking to fill up their water bottles. And it's not because they're being distracted at the moment, it's because they're really thirsty. Let's remember to go to Jesus now when we are thirsty in our souls, and know that in heaven we will fully not be thirsty ever again. It said its gates will never close at the end of the day because there is no night. This verse tells us, as well as all the other well-known promises, that there will be an end to sadness and death and mourning and crying. There will also be an end to fear and danger. The gates were closed on a walled city because of danger and fear of attack. But there's no danger and fear, so the gates will never be closed. New and shiny. What an impressive image this is of the New Jerusalem. I wonder if John had been inspired today, would these images have been the same or different? Would it have been like your pictures or like what he said originally? We'll never know. We can't go and report back. What we do know is that alongside there being no fear and sadness and worry and suffering, there's also this physical image of perfection and everything being right and good. But why now? Why are we thinking about this today? Paul said, why did you pick this passage, Esther? What's this got to do with covenant? It says, look, the home of God is now among his people. He will live with them. They will be his people. God himself will be with them. This is almost word for word what was given in the first covenant we looked at, the second after Noah, with Abraham. We've seen this completion today in Revelation, where there's no temple and no sun because God is actually fully with his people. Yet, God, in his presence and spirit and promises in his word, is with us now, today. So this really is both and. Finally, why was this written and circulated? To record John's vision, yes, which is weird and wonderful, and we've touched on a bit that's easier than some of the other bits, but it was written and distributed in that time and place to give hope and to inspire the struggling and persecuted church who are in the middle of being scattered and attacked. We haven't got that at the moment here in Walkley, in Sheffield, in the same way. But it doesn't mean everything is perfect and easy. So let's remember these promises and go away with more of a knowledge that all that is wrong will one day be right. And the reminder to go to Jesus now and to pray and trust God and support each other now, and to remember that God, as he has promised and shown in all his covenants, is with us now.